Really what we do is, I know I've been working with Brian for a couple of months now, trying to get the CSP relationship finalized. So we appreciate your guys' partnership. It's been really nice working with Brian and some of the other folks on your team. I know we haven't met everyone, but we look forward to. And really the purpose of today's call, once we onboard folks to the CSP partnership with Champion, we have a lot of we've developed a lot of IP and tools and services around the Microsoft cloud. So if you don't know much about us, we have basically since the BPOS days been a professional services partner for Microsoft. We've migrated about 7 million mailboxes to the Microsoft cloud. Not to brag, but the whole purpose of that is that we have a lot of experience, and our development team has constantly been, rolling out new tools and services around the Microsoft cloud, whether for education or end user awareness, things like training, and also provisioning and management of Azure and Microsoft cloud services. So a lot of these tools are at your disposal. We encourage you to use them, and the whole purpose of today's call is to make sure that you guys are familiar with our platform, and that you know what's available to you so that you guys can use these tools. So before we jump into that, I will give Melissa, the floor. But Brian, Robert, Justin, did either of you have any questions before we get into this?
Nothing off the bat for me.
All right. I'm sure we'll have some questions as we go through things. So please feel free to chime in when you have them. Either Melissa and I can try to answer those. And if we don't, a lot of these are built out by the developers. We're not the rocket scientists building out things. And these platforms, how they operate on the back end. So any questions we can't answer, we'll take back to the dev team and provide responses to you. But with that, I'll turn it over to you, Melissa.
Thank you, Tyler, and thank you guys for your time and your business. My name is Melissa Mintz. I'm your Customer Success Manager for Office 365 and Azure. So my role is to ensure the best customer experience with your Office 365 and your Azure investment, and to also make sure that you're taking advantage of the full suite of value-added MessageOps software and services. So I am your promise keeper here. Like Tyler was saying on the onset of the call, I will send a recap email after today as conversation that will outline everything so you can go ahead and kick the tires. I will also send out a CSP help desk entitlement document, which will clearly outline what is covered by the CSP help desk, who can open up support tickets and all of that fun stuff. So that way that's all clear to you as well. So ways in which you can access our support, which is 24/7, is our 877 number. One is for technical support, 2 for sales, 3 for billing. If you do need to open up a support ticket, that does need to be the global administrator for your Office 365 tenant. So feel free to email support@championsg.com, and that will open up a ticket with our help desk to answer the ticket. If they cannot fix the issue, then they will escalate it up to Microsoft on your behalf. Conversely, if there's a question or something you think I can answer directly or point you to the right person, definitely don't be shy and reach out to me at my personal email address listed below. Questions so far? Okay. So now that you're a MessageOps CSP, what's next for your licenses? So this slide we just like to show to anybody that's coming over from a previous CSP provider to make sure that you don't get double billed. So make sure you've canceled any previously purchased licenses, from other sources, you made sure you removed the delegated admin privileges to the other CS provider, and also made sure that they have removed their reseller relationship with you. So this is just to ensure you don't get double billed. If it's a moot point, sorry, but we just like to make sure that we're transparent and upfront so you guys don't get double billed.
Is there a way we can see if, I know the double licensing showed up for like a day and a half or so, and it's gone now.
Mm-hmm.
I've removed the CDW admin accounts and the Skycake accounts. We did that yesterday. I'm just curious if we could maybe we could offline it, but if we could maybe just spend like 20 minutes making sure, Tyler, that like everything's good to go. We're not going to get double billed.
So if the licenses, that's a really easy answer there. whatever licenses you had in the admin console, just if you said you double checked the admin console, those had disappeared, their billing should stop as soon as their licenses are deprovisioned. There might be like a final bill that you'll receive from them for, up until X date. But so long as the licenses aren't available in the admin console, then they haven't provisioned anything for you. So if they had provisioned something for you, it would be in the admin console.
And then would I email CEW to remove their reseller relationship, or is that maybe something that's already done?
You would have to go to the admin console. Let me ask there's a way to do it within Partner Center. I think you have to do it as the owner or the actual customer. So I'll send you documentation on how to remove a partner.
Thank you.
You got it.
Thank you for the question. And yeah, I just wanted to make sure that was all clear so that there's no double billing going on. So our one-of-a-kind Office 365 and Azure value-added services are now all under one roof, which we call Inscape. And Inscape is the platform where you could grab your new licenses, decrease the quantities of the licenses, assign your licenses. The account info tile will give you a personal financial snapshot where you can look at your CSP invoice trend, access invoices, and download invoice details. The manage tile, formerly known as Inscape 365, is your portal that you can use in there for Office 365 management and reporting. It has reports, a PST exporting tool, security information, and much, much more, as well as an onboarding and offboarding wizard. So if you guys happen to be hiring a lot of people or people are leaving, there is a onboarding, offboarding wizard to help with that, as well as an adoption tile. The adoption tile will help you with both, how-tos, quick start guides, and the dual challenges of both change management and the adoption of Office 365. And then we got productivity insights. So if you guys are still working predominantly, remotely, the 365 Productivity Insights tool is a great way to be able to monitor your remote employee productivity with Teams and Outlook, spot trends, and also identify training opportunities. Azure spending, Azure recommendations. These two tiles that you'll see in the dashboard both require Azure subscriptions. The spending will show you your cost management by resource, by service, daily costs over time. Your Azure recommendations tile will allow you to view and download recommendation reports on high availability, security, performance, and cost savings. And then the last tile that you'll see that's included is Team Captain. So if you guys are adopting Teams and really using Teams, Team Captain we developed for the governance around Teams and the creation of Teams, as well as to help combat sprawl. So if you haven't registered for that already, definitely check that out and kick the tires on that. And then you'll see some tiles on there that are labeled optional. That for transparency purposes are items that are, chargeable or have another cost associated with them that if you're interested in, Tyler can get you that. The training is our portal for, Microsoft training, over 2,500 snackable trainings. That I believe is 99 cents per user per month. And I believe you get 10 seats of that off the bat, if I'm not misquoting there on that one. Our Exchange Online backup and restore. So if you guys are looking for an Office 365 backup for Exchange Online only, that may be a solution for you. Any questions on that so far? Okay, if there's no questions, we do have additional, Office 365 backup solutions, Veeam, Barracuda, Skykick. Skykick backs up Teams, OneDrive, SharePoint, Exchange. If you're interested in that, my colleague Ryan does a fantastic demonstration of Skykick, and I believe there may be a trial. And then, of course, if you guys are leveraging ADP Workforce Now, that is something that we can seamlessly connect with your Office 365 environment. And if you need to discuss that further, let me know. I can get our subject matter expert on a call, and he can discuss how we've done that for a huge fitness company recently.
And they are actually a Skykick user. Cool. So maybe a quick question, Brian, how is that going? I don't want to take too much time away from Melissa, but did you get everybody set up and all the admins entered? And do you need any support around that before we move forward?
I think we're okay for now. I'm probably gonna have questions about trying to maybe automate the, like, when we offboard or onboards. Well, onboarding is okay because it automatically picks it up, but offboarding someone, so I'm not paying for like their license anymore in Skykick.
Right.
If we could automate that, I don't know if it would, I think that's something to investigate. And then of course we're an ADP customer. I literally signed and bought the API access like yesterday. So we probably want to at least take a look at that.
Okay, let me know. My colleague Matt is an expert at that, and we could arrange, and he could tell you, what he's thinking. You could say what you have in mind, and we could give you the case study of, I believe this is another one of Tyler's accounts, the fitness company where we implemented the integration with ADP. So let me know, and I'll be happy to arrange that for you.
Perfect.
Absolutely, no problem at all. So this is what the current dashboard for Inkscape looks like with all of the versions of the tiles in place, starting with the licenses and going across the board. As the CSP with MessageOps, just so you're aware, in case it wasn't mentioned in previous conversations, you do get access, to our blogs, to our newsletters that we email out, our events, our webinars, and all of that fun stuff. We have a community of over 93,000 people that are reading our blogs, that get our newsletters and our tips and our tricks from our, our technical staff. So just want to make sure that you're aware of that, and that's included as well. Before we take our tour, again, just making sure that you're aware of all of our offerings and all we can help you with should you need it. Teams, if you guys are new to Teams and are looking to increase adoption of Teams, we have, our virtual team CIE. We have a Jumpstart, which I believe is still good, which would be training for not only your power users, but your, end users and admins as well. And Tyler could talk more on that if you guys are interested in that, but just giving you a high level in case that is of interest for you. And then last but not least, and in the interest of time and information overload, we have our Sequoia or our SharePoint solutions. And these are templates that we developed that we would deploy into your SharePoint environment that would help you leverage SharePoint and light up that workload, but would also help with things like, streamlining, communication, facilitating communication, fostering collaboration. So the first one we developed is called Root, and that's our intranet. And if you guys want to deeper dive on another call of any of these solutions, don't, hesitate, let myself and Tyler know. The second one is Crown. Crown is our learning management system with gamification. So if you're looking for a way to train people or educate people on Microsoft content, it comes preloaded with 21 learnings in there already. Or if you have something that's pertinent to your day-to-day jobs, then you could upload content that is applicable to you and have them use the Crown learning management system for that. So it is a flexible system. We've got Fine, which also you can use for contract asset warranty maintenance. So you can have a centralized repository for things that, will need constant, maintenance or, pay attention to dates that are coming due and notifications and all of that fun stuff. And then Branch, SharePoint employee onboarding and offboarding, and it's a departmental workflow. So this again is to ease the pain points of onboarding and offboarding, as well as, fostering streamlined communication with tasks and workflows. So MessageOps is the cloud business unit of Champion Solutions Group, in case you're not familiar. And just so you know, we'll set up a call as far as the ADP Workforce Now integration. I let you know about Team Captain, and already know about Skykick. If you guys are looking to move to the cloud, if you haven't gone to Azure already, we could talk more about Azure Glide Path at some point. Our signature support. If you're looking for additional support and buckets of support, that may be of interest to you. And my colleague Mike does a phenomenal job discussing and demoing that. And then, of course, just again, so you're aware, we have a bunch of professional services that we also do, with SCCM, Intune, EMS, desktop as a service, SharePoint, and much, much more. So just wanted to be sure that you guys were aware of the additional things that we can do in addition to helping with, licensure. So let me go back to the Inkscape.
Brian, I know you and I spoke briefly, and I think you forwarded the Teams intro engagement over to one of your colleagues. I can't remember the name of that person right now, but I don't think that went anywhere. So we had a hard date where September 31st, as far as the expiration, we were giving a complimentary engagement, but that has been extended, I believe. If not, I can get it extended for you. So that has proved to be pretty beneficial to a lot of folks that are coming back. And I know you guys are using Teams already, but a lot of folks are looking at, from a management standpoint. We go through configuration, policies, and go through the admin console, look at licensing add-ons. If you had any questions about telephony or anything like that. But a lot of it is, folks have been using it and they're seeing that there's this all sprawl with Microsoft Teams, and they've enabled, maybe you've turned on all the policies and everybody can do everything as far as Teams goes, and it's creating all this data and people are sharing files externally and things like that. So those are some of the things that we go through from a compliance standpoint as well. We'll also talk about like DLP, like before. If you record a video in Teams, you saved it as stream. That's going away, thankfully, and Microsoft is pushing the recordings and things like that to a more modern way of doing things, where recordings will be stored in OneDrive and SharePoint, so you can wrap conditional access policies and DLP and things like that around it. But if there's any interest in that, just let me know.
Yeah, for sure. If you don't mind, maybe if you could send me the email again, and I'll. I think it's Grayson probably that.
That's who it was. Yeah.
So I don't know if Tyler, like, feel free to reach out to him too. Just ping him. He's a super busy guy.
Perfect. We've also developed something that has been really cool. It's kind of a workflow automation, and it's using basically what it's done is that a lot of the folks that we talk to, specifically the ones that have to deal with the alphabet soup and compliance and regulatory, they are pretty adverse to enabling everybody to just go out and do things within Microsoft Teams. But they also don't want to put a chokehold on folks from, communicating in Teams. So we developed a workflow that basically will allow, you to go through forms, create a business case for Teams as an end user, say, this is why we want this is why we want to create this team. This is the use case. This is why we're asking for approval to create it. It automates that workflow, sends it straight to the IT admin for approval. They click yes. It automatically spins the team up with the naming convention that best meets your best practices that you guys have outlined already. So there is some benefit to that as well, but those are some of the things that we go into. And these are just things that, we've been doing a lot of Teams work with, healthcare customers and a lot of enterprise organizations that have more stringent, policies as far as, sharing data and things like that. So I'll touch base with Grayson and see if that's something that he wants to kick the tires with.
Awesome. Thank you.
All right, back to you, Melissa.
Sorry about that. Tyler was on mute there for a second. Yeah, just so you know, I put up the Power Automate on screen here. So just so they can have an idea of what you were just articulating as far as automating the approval workflow as far as Teams and governance is concerned. So there's a little more information up here on our website, as well as a little video where my colleague Ryan walks you through actually using Power Automate to set up the workflows to, provide additional governance in and around Microsoft Teams. So just wanted to dovetail onto what you were just saying, Tyler. Okay, so here is the Inscape platform. So once you have the discussion as far as, permissions and rights is concerned, this is where you'll be able to manage your license, assign your licenses and all of that fun stuff. The little waffle icon here also will allow you to navigate the site. So just as an FYI, in case you didn't know what that was, that's the right-hand navigation. The gear icon here is your global access control. So here is where you can actually have some role-based access. So you can come in here and add a user and give them specific permissions to particular tiles within Inscape, so that obviously you're not giving everybody access to Microsoft licenses so they could, run up the bill, by adding licenses or whatnot. So you can click add new user, select the tiles or tile that you want them to have access to, type in the name, so you can, and this will predictively come up with anybody within, your Active Directory. So you type in their name, whoever that may be, hit add, and then that person would have access to that particular tile or tiles that you select here in the check boxes there. So just wanted to point that out. Another cool feature or aspect of the Inscape platform that I really like to call out because it helps save our customers money is the little alert feature up at the top here. This is designed to alert you, our users, of any unassigned licenses. So this way you can either go and assign them if they're needed, or you can save yourself however much the licenses are and, suspend them so you're not paying for stuff they're not using, or going and purchasing brand new subscriptions when you could go and assign whatever is available. So just wanted to point that out. I know it's minor, but, to us, it's, a great thing to bring to front of mind. So the licenses area is where you can manage all of your Office 365 licenses, your Azure subscriptions if you have any, as well as your software subscriptions. So this is our demo site here. And then if you have Azure subscriptions, this is where you'd be able to, maintain that, as well as software subscriptions, Cal licenses and such would be located in this tab. So these are existing licenses. If there are no licenses available, you'll see it'll say 0, and the assign button will be grayed out. If there are licenses available, it will give you the number that's available, and the assign button will be in blue. And if you click on that, that will allow you to go ahead and assign that available license or licenses to whomever in your organization may need that. So if you needed to edit any one of these existing licenses, just click on the blue title there, and that will take you to the edit screen. So in real time, the Inscape platform allows you to increase the quantity, decrease the quantity, or suspend a license if you no longer need it. So you can type in the new quantity here or use the up and down arrows should you need to increase or decrease. Or for whatever reason, if you no longer needed this trial or whatever the license is, you can simply toggle the active button to the left and shut it off and suspend the license. Also wanted to make sure you guys are aware of the add-ons. Certain licenses have add-ons associated with them that are part of the license SKU, such as advanced communications, advanced threat protection. So if you're looking for ATP, or if you're looking for audio conferencing. So if you guys are going to be using Teams a lot and want a dial number associated with that, here's where you can find the add-on for Microsoft 365 audio conferencing, and you can put in whatever the quantity you need for that is. So just wanted to make sure you're aware of where to find these add-ons. So after you make whatever changes you need, you would hit terms and conditions, hit update, and then those changes would be reflected in real time. Conversely, if you do need to add a brand new subscription to your tenant, the shop licenses area is where you can go and do that. So once this is finished rendering, the system will show you all of the available licenses that you can currently procure through the Inscape platform. So you can, scroll through the list or use the pagination below. You can also filter. So if you're looking for enterprise Azure license or even a trial, so you can filter and specifically find specifically what you need. Or if you, want to search, there is a search feature in here. So if I'm looking for the Microsoft SKU because I want Windows 10, type in Microsoft, select the E3 as an example. We give you the price, we give you the description and the Microsoft ID. You'll notice the system does do the math for you. So as I increase the quantity, the price goes up. As I decrease it, the price goes down. If that's what I want, I will click next. And then we take you to a confirmation screen. So this is to ensure that this is the license that you want. You're happy with the quantity, the price is okay, great. Terms and conditions, hit submit, and then this will hit your account in real time. Sometimes it may take 15 minutes for our API to talk to Microsoft, but this is pretty much real time for you to then be able to go and to assign to a user within your organization. Any comments, questions, concerns? Okay, also wanted to point out user roles. So again, for any one of the tiles in the Inscape platform, the user roles will allow you to grant specific access to that tile. So if I wanted to give somebody access just to this tile from here, I can go ahead and do so by typing in their name from our Active Directory. I can select Eric, hit add, and then he'd have access. Conversely, if I needed to remove Kevin from here, I could click remove access, and then Kevin Taylor would no longer have access to the Microsoft licensing tile. Your assign tile will then allow you to assign the tiles to an individual within your organization that may be newly onboarded that needs the license. Also, to further, show you what's available, we have graphically listed up here what's assigned, what's not assigned, and what's available, again, to help you save money from buying brand new subscriptions when you can see, there's 25 available, there's 2 available, etc. So we like to bring that front and center. So from here, you'll see all of your users within your organization's Active Directory, what their licenses are. You can click edit to edit their name, their permissions, their email address. So you could see I could update Alex's information here. I could also change his permissions using the radio button or delete him completely by deleting the user. Pretty simple. We made this really intuitive for anybody to be able to, maintain the licenses. Manage licenses. So if I needed to assign Alex an available license, if he needed the business standard as an example, you'll see there's currently 25 available. Once I tick off the box here, that goes down to 24. So he's going to be assigned that license once I hit saved. But I wanted to point out for your benefit, the view service plans. So for each license, if you click view service plans, you'll be able to control what's rolled out within that particular Microsoft SKU. So, for instance, if you don't want him having, Microsoft invoicing, I could deselect that, and then that would not be included once you hit save. So I just wanted to point that out to whomever may be administrating this. You do have control over what is, rolled out with the particular SKUs simply by clicking the view service plans and selecting or deselecting any of the checkboxes. Any questions?
Is there any logging, Melissa, or auditing? I'm just curious, if someone logs in, adds some licensing, creates a user, assigns licensing or anything, from like
a time and date stamp type of thing. Is that what you're meaning?
Yeah.
Good question. I'm going to follow up with Robin and Eric on that and see if there is a time and date stamp. I don't know offhand, and I don't want to give you an incorrect answer. Tyler, do you know off the top of your head?
I know I would eventually see it in 365. I'm just curious if the security folks would be they'd probably love to if you're logging anything, they would probably love to consume it. So if that's not something on your roadmap, we'd probably love you for that.
Okay, I'll talk to Robin and see if it's already in the system, or B, if it's not, if it's something that will be in the system, and we will certainly get back to you on that one. That's a really good question.
Thanks.
Yeah, what I will tell you is that Inscape, the management application, has a full auditing system that provides time and date stamps and things like that. As far as the license provisioning piece, I am not positive. I want to say yes, but I don't want you to quote me on it until we run that past the dev team. So again, it will appear in your admin console, of course, but let me see what kind of audit logs we provide under that license management application. We'll get back to you on that one.
Yeah, no worries. Like I said, I know I'll pick it up. The SIM tool is going to pick it up when it hits 365. I'm just curious if if you're auditing that, I think that's more powerful because you're going to know who did it versus 365.
Yeah, there I would be very surprised if there wasn't, because for example, if you log in as Brian Lawlich and make some license changes, I see it immediately on my end. If you purchase 10 new E3s tomorrow, I would get a notification. So I would be very surprised if there wasn't full auditing. But I don't know how that works into the user creation process and all that. So let me check with the team. It's a very quick answer we can get.
Cool.
Excellent. Account info. This may be of use to you. This will give you a financial snapshot of what your spend is. So this way you can come in and take a look and see what your cost is by services by month, whether it's backup, adoption, Inscape, Azure. You can see that here. You can, filter this and splice this however you see fit and change the date range as well. You can also click on the Microsoft tab up here and see what your spend is, for all of Office 365, whether it's, Active Directory, your Office 365 F1 SKU, so you can see cost by subscription, total cost by month. A lot of great information here to, just give you a heads up on what your spend is going to and what the licenses are. Same thing for Azure. So if you have, Azure with us, you can take a look what the cost is by product, whether it's a VM or a Azure Blob Storage or something. You could say graphic directly here and also see what the cost is, month over month as well. Same thing for the reservations. I don't have the right licensure for that, but you'd be able to see that kind of cost analysis here. And software, if you have CAL licenses or any sort of software licenses, you'd be able to see what the spend and the cost is per month and anything purchased in the marketplace. Furthermore, the left-hand side here, you may notice PDF invoice history. So this will allow you to come and take a look at PDFs of your invoices. So, once you start getting billed from MessageOps, you'll be able to come in here and download your PDFs and take a look at them. You'll also be able to update your billing information. This is not tied into a payment system as yet. So if you do pay by credit card and need to change that information, that's something you will still need to call into accounts receivable for, but you can update your mailing information as well as add up to 5 additional people here to receive the emailed invoice. So if you needed to add additional people to receive the invoices, you click the little plus sign here, type in their email address, hit save, and then the people listed here will then be emailed the invoices from Champion and MessageOps. I told you a little about the Azure cost review. This again will tell you what your spend is by resource, by service, and all of that fun stuff. So if you start using Azure or interested in Azure, this is a great tool to use in conjunction with our Azure Glide Path services and offerings. So you can see what your cost is by resource, what daily cost by service, invoice details. And then you could really drill into what your Azure costs are with the filters. So you could really get very granular with this and see, by location, by charge type, by frequency. So this gives you great, insights into exactly, where your spend is going as far as your Azure usage is concerned. And that kind of goes nicely with the Azure recommendations. So the recommendations will, give you, info on cost savings, security recommendations, high availability and all of that stuff. I don't have the proper Azure licensure for this, but I think you kind of get the gist of how these two kind of dovetail into each other.
Yeah, and in planning for the future, Brian, do you guys have a public cloud footprint? Are you AWS or Google, or do you leverage Azure for anything?
It's AWS, but I think we'll probably have to talk, Tyler. We'll probably have to set up an Azure subscription at some point here in the near future.
Yeah, absolutely. That's very easy to do. The reason that I was asking is, well, we can do that for you at any time, Brian. But we're developing something that's basically an executive sponsorship program. I will nominate you guys because I think it'll be beneficial to you. We'll host like kind of quarterly QBRs and do a full business review, and there's a lot of metrics built in, and we do reporting and review your current tenant, how it's set up. If you guys are leveraging Azure, we'll have our engineers review what you guys are doing and plans for the future. So there's a lot that is still to be flushed out with that program. But I think it's going to be really good and a tremendous value for our customers. It's only for select customers. But again, it just kind of helps me to know what we need to focus on for the future with you guys. So thank you for that.
So, okay. We recorded that, right? So everybody heard that?
Yep.
All right. Tyler's gonna recommend us, and so we'll be part of that program. I'm a free review, and then we probably piggyback off of that.
So this is something that if we had the bandwidth to do it for every customer, it would be amazing, and I would love to have all of our customers involved with this because I was discussing with Chris, our CEO. I don't think you've met him yet, but he's really involved with, we're traditionally a data center company, and that's what our team is focused on until BPOS came out. Chris kind of put his hand up and said, we're going with Microsoft Office 365. So we're heavily invested in our customer success. And Chris, thankfully, the CEO is on board with that. So we get a lot of assistance from him. And that was kind of his idea is, how do we become more of a value to our customers, especially strategic ones, and hosting these QBRs and, as far as, cost optimization, looking towards the future, what roadmap items can we help you with? Because a lot of it is, if you guys don't know what we can help you with, and if we don't know what you guys are doing, how can we, be an asset to you? So that's kind of what the QBRs are designed to do is a little bit more transparency as far as what you guys are doing and how we can be an asset to your team. So again, that's still something that we're kind of flushing out the details on, but yeah, go ahead. That one's on recording and I'm definitely nominating you. I think Lisa actually said Brian. She said Brian has to be in the executive sponsorship program, and I want to be his executive sponsor because I guess you and her hit it off one time. So we can quote her as well.
You're quoting Lisa. That's outstanding, Tyler.
Sorry, I keep cutting you off, Melissa. Back to you.
That's okay, but in the interest of time, because I do have something at the top of the hour, manage tile. If you guys haven't already signed up for this, this was formerly Inkscape 365. So click on there, follow the on-screen prompts to get yourselves registered. It may take a few hours for your data to fully propagate. So once I log in, this is another great tool that you have access to for user management. So you can, take a look at the dashboard here. So your mail traffic summary, see total mailboxes, your licensed users, your global admins, who's got a mailbox on litigation hold. And you could dive into these. You could click on any of these things here. For security, who's externally forwarding mailboxes outside of your domain, who's got a mailbox on lit hold. Then we got, the security management portion of this where you can see what your organization's secure score is. And, depending on what that number is, may prompt you to make, necessary implementations, ATP Defender or AIP or MFA or, whatever, you want to do. But, we have the scores here. Your 80 identity risk events. This will point out to your, internal teams, any impossible travel risks. Is that really, me logging in from, Bogota, Colombia, and then 30 seconds later, I'm logging in from Miami or something going on, as well as anybody trying to mask their IP or unfamiliar location, risk events. Is this really Joe logging in from Los Angeles, or has his account been spoofed in some way? So this is all to bring that, front of mind, raise red flags in case, things need to be locked down. You can see with mailbox forwarding, who's forwarding anything outside of your company's domain, who's got a strong password. And for any one of these little cards, you could click the ellipsis to see a detailed log and or grab a detailed report. At the bottom here too, another cool thing to point out is multi-factor authentication. So you can actually take a look and see within your organization who has MFA enabled or who's disabled. And again, you could click the ellipsis to detailed log or grab a report. So that's pretty cool. The cost management piece here. So this is, again, designed to help our customers, save money and cost optimize. So this way you see any unassigned licenses, and this will, prompt you to assign them or, get rid of them so that, you're not spending money on licenses just sitting in your tenant not being used. You can see your licenses percentage assigned. So graphically, you can see that. And again, you can, check out a detailed log or see a report. We show you your inactive users for the past 30, 90 days. Again, this may prompt you to, scale back licenses for somebody that hasn't used a license in 90 days, as well as you see your assigned license cost by filter. So, if you want to take a look and filter by department for your organization, I'll just go to marketing. This will filter by department and see what your assigned license cost is, by department, by country, by state, by office location. So you're really getting nice insights into, what your, license cost is, and it's front and center. So just wanted to point that out. For onboarding and offboarding, we have our onboarding wizard. So this literally walks you through in a linear fashion, onboarding somebody into your organization, as well as offboarding. So if somebody was leaving your organization, this literally walks you step by step and, locking them down and resetting their password and fully offboarding them from, your Office 365 tenant. Related to onboarding, this is cool, our user templates. So we devised a template system. So should you be hiring people in bulk for a particular department or something, you can create a new template, saving you time from having to implement the same information over and over again. So if I click on this existing template, you'll see, we set up a template for engineering. So you set up their, user properties, exchange properties, permissions, mailbox permissions. Here's where you can, access methods. So you could, shut off OA access or POP access if you want to. You can enable litigation hold all from this one screen. You can change their mailbox, configuration, time zone if you want to. And then this is a new feature I wanted to show you guys, is to select a license. So now while you're creating this template to onboard a bunch of people for a particular department, you could now go in and, select a license. So that's number 5 in here. So after you fill out your distribution groups and you add a shared mailbox if need to, and add them to a particular team. Step 5 will now allow you, to add an available license to these people that are being onboarded. So here, once I got to that screen, if there are licenses available, here's where you can actually add a particular license to that template. So this way, when you're onboarding a bunch of people with this template, they will then get that license. So it's a pretty new, cool feature that we just released. Office 365, you can manage, your users, in here, whether you need to kick off a PST, set up a shared mailbox, set up mailbox forwarding. That would be all done through the, Office 365 tab here. You can, filter by department. You could actually filter by user type. So whether it's a member or a guest, that may be something you want to, filter by. That is a brand new feature as well. And then you could also come in and click on that. So if I click on Alex's name, that will allow me to update his, account properties, see if anybody has permissions on his mailbox or add them, give Alex permissions on any other mailbox by clicking add more, and see if there's any, mailbox forwarding going on. So there's a lot of great detail here. And in the interest of time, I'm just going to, quickly give a high level of, mail traffic history. May be good to know in case there's malware issues going on. You could see mailbox properties. Again, here's where you can maintain his exchange settings, his licenses, so I can add a new license or remove a license. And then brand new feature is the out of office response. So right from the manage tile in Inkscape, you could set up automatic replies in here and stylize them with the editor. So that's brand new. And then of course, up at the top, you can modify the user, reset the password. And then under the options, you could reset password, change his username. Here's where you could set up mailbox forwarding, convert his mailbox to a shared mailbox if you need to. Export his mailbox as a PST or deprovision him. So if you want to kick off a PST, you can do so, and it would go to your default storage location, or you can configure this if you're using Azure Blob Storage. You can have it go there simply by clicking configure storage, configuring that. That's then where the PST file would get exported to. And once that kicks off, you can track it all up here in the dashboard. So here you can, track the status of when it was started, when it was completed, if it failed, etc. And then the ellipses will allow you to discard the export, retry, or download it locally. So just wanted to point out that this is the, the dashboard that in Office 365 is where you kick it off. And then high level, there's a whole bunch of reporting in here. So you could filter by all of these categories here and be able to schedule, set it and forget any of the reports that you see in here. So whether it's licensing or your team's activity, you could literally come into any one of these, reports, like service activity detail as an example, schedule it or download it as a CSV, Excel, PDF. So there's a lot of great details, a lot of insights here to help you in your day-to-day business, as well as cutting down on your admin time. So you can see your activities. So here's great, insights into remote worker productivity again, what their activity is with mail, Teams, OneDrive, etc. So that's just a quick high level on the manage tile. Adoption, this is again to aid with adoption and change management. A lot of great quick start guides in here that you could download and print out, use cases. I do want to highlight the support butler. So this is designed to help cut down on the amount of internal help desk tickets for you guys. So you can come in and, ask a question, find your solution. Great, dive deeper into any one of these. It resolved my issue, fantastic. No, I want to start over, or click have help desk contact me. And then this question would then be routed to the person that you have set up in the settings area to receive those. So whoever you have set up in help desk email would then get those notifications to further assist. And again, you could admin the adoption portal here, simply selecting or deselecting any of the content. You get access to our tips and tricks. You could make it be received monthly or biweekly, and that goes up to 6 people within your organization. So you could click add email recipient, type in the email address, and they will then be getting any of the content that you have selected here. Any comments, questions, concerns? Okay, in the interest of time, Team Captain, we kind of highlighted over this. This was our tool that we designed to help with team sprawl as well as governance and security around teams. This will help highlight if there are still external links being shared, if there are any orphaned teams, meaning teams that haven't been used in 30, 60, or 90 days. So you can take a look if there's any teams that are archived. I could take a look at the support team. So this is an inactive team. So once I click on that, you can see I have the ability to enable monitoring. I can archive this. And if Robin leaves the organization, I could then promote Lisa Cuthbertson, who is her boss, to the owner of the team so that the team doesn't languish without an owner and become, further or off orphaned. You got your metrics. So here you can, take a look at your, metrics. And again, this will help spot trends, help spot, training opportunities to see if people are maybe not using Teams for, meetings, but they're just using it for private chats. All of this data here will, help provide you further insights in how you can really best adopt, Teams with the data that you see on screen here. And you could filter by UPN, display name, and department, and also by you could Teams devices and users usage. And I think I skipped over the Teams navigation here. So you can again see all of your teams. And we have a whole host of filters here. So Microsoft doesn't even have this. So this is a really key feature in the Team Captain platform where you can really get granular, really filter into your teams to see, what's going on within your team's environment. So you can filter by orphan, by if it has guests or doesn't have guests, what the status is, archived or not archived. So just wanted to point out all of these great filters that we put in place so you could really, get a sense of what's going on in your environment. Under settings, you can again enable monitoring for all of your accounts by or teams by toggling this to the right. You can automatic archiving, turn that on by toggling it to the right. Here you could change the amount of days associated with inactivity, with the snooze feature, snoozing the email, so you can control all of that here. And with the communications, we have integrated this with SendGrid, so this way it doesn't look like it's a phishing attempt because there's a link in the email. Here you can kind of stylize or format the emails coming from Team Captain so people will know that it's okay, it's safe to click on that link. So that is Team Captain, and that goes in concert to what Tyler was talking about earlier with the Power Automate, where you could create workflows on who can create a team versus who cannot create a team. Productivity insights, again, more metrics into Teams usage, how people are being productive while working remotely. So you could really get a gauge on, what people are, doing within your organization, who's got the most outbound activity, email activity, Teams activity, et cetera, et cetera. Teams by devices, users, so you can see what they're doing by department, by mailbox activity, and all of that fun stuff. And then we've talked about, we'll do a call on the ADP Workforce Now. You already have a backup solution. This is just for Exchange, and then our training site. So if you guys are interested in Office 365 training, this is 99 cents per user per month, and you get access to all the courses that are in here. So if you're looking for OneDrive, Power BI, Sway, Delve, Power Apps, this may be a great resource for you. So you could, do this at your, can take, all of these courses at your convenience. You don't have to sit here and do all of them in one shot, but, you could do it gradually, take a quiz, download the course outline, and then the dashboard here allows you to track your return on investment, track your activities, see what was viewed, as well as, see what your productivity gains are, your skills increases are, et cetera, et cetera. So just wanted to make sure, you guys are at least aware of where these things are, how you could find them, how you could activate them in case, you have a need. They are available to you as a CSP. Tyler, is there anything you wanted to chime in on before I give you guys some time back in the afternoon?
No, but thank you for the overview.
Sure.
I feel like I've already chimed in too much, so I'll turn it over to Brian and the team. Robert, Justin, did you guys have any questions or closing remarks?
No, I'm very impressed with the granularity of the tools that you guys offer. So
Yes.
yeah,
Excellent. We appreciate the feedback, and it's hopefully with your feedback that will continue. We have a big roadmap. We are not halting development on any of these. Most of these applications are not done, so you'll see that we continue to develop, our tools and services, and we absolutely request your feedback on those. So we look forward to working with you guys.
Yeah, I got high expectations, Tyler. It's gonna be fun.
I know you do. I know you do. We will meet and exceed. And if I won't, Melissa will.
Exactly. Customer support and customer success and your satisfaction is just as important as all these cool little tools that we develop. So I will constantly, be in contact with you to make sure all is well, to check in, to let you know of new things that may be coming out. So, definitely don't be shy.
Yep. So if we wanted to get started and log into the Inscape platform, like right now, we would just go to platform.inscape365.com.
Mm-hmm.
And then in order to gain access right now, you have to log in and use your global admin account.
I believe so, yes.
Fair enough.
Yep, that is all accurate. And Brian, that onboarding doc that I sent you outlines everything. I know Melissa will share something similar out with you after the call. So if you have any questions, let us know. But also, I've jotted down some notes here as far as takeaways. I actually reached out to Grayson offline and said, hey, I know you're busy, but just want to remind you this is available if you want to take advantage of that. So I have that marked as done, but I have a couple other questions that were posed during the demo. So Melissa and I will work offline and get back to you with some answers.
Awesome. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank
All right.
you.
Thank you, everyone, for the time. We really appreciate it. Have a good weekend, everybody.
Thank
You
you,
too.
everybody.
All right. See ya.
Bye.
Bye.